Okay, you got this, you got that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he did good for a day there, Doc. Huh?
Well, no, he got no sugar iced tea now. I'm very proud of him.
I had one Coke Zero yesterday.
That's not bad.
All day.
It's like a Band-Aid, though, man. You should really just yank it. I'll never forget when Suzanne gave up Diet Coke, man. It was crazy. She probably drank more of it than you did, too.
Nah.
I don't know about that.
She drank a lot of Diet Coke. Awful lot. It's hard to believe it's addicting, isn't it?
It is.
I know people that, well, they probably don't anymore, but man, they'd suck down that Mountain Dew like it was no one's business. Okay, almost done. You guys ever been in the building before, I heard?
No.
No.
Not much to it now.
Yeah, I used to be able to figure. But all the AMs are on the third floor, and then, I'm sorry, on the fourth floor where you are, and then the FMs are on the third floor. And it's like pretty much empty since COVID. Tom, we want to talk about definitely that COVID part too. These guys know how to help people if they died from COVID getting reimbursed through Uncle Sam, right?
Yes.
Cool. How many of those have you guys done? The actual reimbursement stuff?
Actually only 4, but we've only had 4 COVIDs that were listed on death certificates.
No.
So you can get paid by the government?
Up to 8
If it's on the
grand.
death certificate.
Or 9 grand.
It is, and it doesn't have to be the primary cause. It can be a secondary or third cause as long as it's on the death
Wow.
certificate.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is.
That is weird.
You get the plague, you don't get your money back.
No.
What did you just say about? What did you just say about?
It's almost political.
There's only 4 what?
I've only had 4 cases. Of
4 COVID cases.
COVID cases come through our funeral home.
Let's see here.
That where was listed on the death certificate.
Okay, we got this up. That's up. Hey, reboot your camera when you get a sec. Okay.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. Everyone can use a break from pain, inflammation, anxiety. It's amazing what CBD has done. Many people have gotten off of medical marijuana and gone over to CBD. Anyway, 30% off if you use Tom in the promo code. It's Panacea Life Sciences, RealCBDThatWorks.com. Welcome to the show. Today we have a lot to talk about, as usual. Just really important stuff. Low-cost cremation services, funeral services. And we're going to talk about that. That's you know, an inevitable part of life. A lot of people don't have the money to spend on fancy funerals. We're going to talk about how you get paid. If COVID was part of it, you get paid. You get a check.
Up to
The family gets
$8,000
a
or
check.
$9,000 reimbursement.
No, not that much.
Yeah.
Up to 8 or 9 grand. Okay, hold on. They're betting. They're saying yes. We're going to talk about that. Hang on. Abbott Funeral Services. We'll talk about that. Up to $8,000 or $9,000 if COVID is on the death certificate. Doesn't have to be even the primary cause. As I said, stay tuned for that. Right now, Wally, what is going on with your painting? You have a $10,000 painting. Now, is this a painting you bought, or tell us the story of the painting? Wait, they don't know where it is?
And we can have a signature there who signed for it, and they sent the the FedEx driver back to pick it up, and for some reason he couldn't pick it up, and FedEx closed the case.
Well, what do you mean they closed the case? What do you mean they closed the case? They say, "Oh, so too bad."
Close the case.
Yeah, I know. They say, too bad, we can't do anything. Yes, we delivered it to the wrong address. Tough.
Did you insure it?
I don't want to know about insurance. First, I want to know what FedEx said.
They said they contacted the driver that delivered it and told him to go back there and pick it up and get it to the right address. The right address is looking it up on Google.
We don't need to know the right address. To us, it means nothing. It went to the wrong address. So the guy went back, and what did the person say that took the artwork?
I haven't been able to contact him, and they haven't said anything either about it.
I find it impossible, not just unlikely, impossible to believe that FedEx would deliver a $10,000 piece of art to the wrong address and simply leave you hanging without any explanation whatsoever. I mean, just because they sent a guy there to try to find it and to pick it back up doesn't relieve them of responsibility. Certainly we have to know that, right?
Right.
Well, Wally, you never talked to FedEx then. Is that what I'm hearing? You've never actually talked to them.
Oh, I've talked to him probably 10 times.
Okay. What do they take any responsibility? What do they say? Do you say, by the way, do you owe me money?
I didn't say that, but...
Well, what did you say? I mean, Wally, I'm just, you're not telling me anything. What did you tell them? Did you tell them you were a little upset, or did you say, oh, never mind, you couldn't pick it up, don't worry about it? What did you tell them?
Well, they said the case was closed, and I said, what do you mean the case is closed? You haven't found the package that you sent to the wrong address. How can you close the case?
What Mark asked in the beginning, the logical question, if you're shipping art, did you insure it?
I did not.
Why wouldn't you insure a $10,000 piece of art?
I shipped over the years, 40-plus years. I never had insurance. I've always packed things well enough that they never got damaged, and I just assumed that it would get to the right address, which has never happened before.
What does their agreement say about uninsured merchandise? Does it say anything? Did you look at it? Have you done anything to look into this?
No.
When was this supposed to be delivered?
Right. It was delivered July 15th.
On July 15th. And do you have someone that you talk to at FedEx?
I've talked to a number of people. one gal is the FedEx customer advocate. She's the one that phoned me and said that we've contacted the driver and he's going to go back and pick up that shipment, and I'll let you know when he picks it up. And I never heard from him again.
But they gave no explanation as to why he could not pick it up.
No.
Not one piece of explanation. Did they say it wasn't there, the person wasn't home? I mean, what is this lack of communication, Wally? Did you ask what happened when the guy went to pick it up?
Yes.
And what did they say?
They supposedly that, I'm trying to remember exactly how that went.
Wally,
he said that,
I'm having some serious doubts about this whole thing. I mean, you're taking this so casually. First of all, who's to say it was worth 10 grand, by the way? Is that the number you put on it after it ended up missing, or what?
I had it sold for $10,000, and they had already paid me before I even sent it.
Oh my goodness!
And the party.
So I guess that proves value, doesn't it? That proves value.
The party that was buying it had it sold to a client of theirs, so it was going to end up being more than $10,000. The artist is Robert Bateman. He is a famous wildlife artist from Canada.
This is
and
terrible.
He's 90-something
I mean,
years old.
I've just never heard of such a thing. Well,
I know it's ridiculous. I've been in the gallery business for 40-plus years, and I had never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, but I've never heard of people shipping art without insuring it. But I don't know. I mean, I just can't believe FedEx would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we delivered to the wrong address. Our bad." And that's it. And now I need to know the last person you actually talked to with a phone number. We need to put somebody on this. I just find this impossible to believe.
The business that the FedEx driver dropped it off at is 2.6 miles away from where it was supposed to end up. And I don't have a name.
What kind of business is it?
Business. FedEx would not give me a name. The party that I'm sending the paintings to, supposedly, went over there a couple times, and they have a security guy that wouldn't even let them in the building.
Now, if you didn't find out where it was delivered, how did your person go over there?
We have a proof of delivery. We know where it was delivered to.
He just doesn't know the name of the business.
Okay. And where was it delivered to?
You want the address?
Yeah, I sure as hell do.
That's what you're going to have to do, is continue to go over there and try to get it back, man.
Yeah. Where was it delivered to? I want to know why FedEx it just is clean on this. Why do they get to do nothing? Why do they get to just say, "Oh well, sorry"?
Well, I'm sure they'll refund whatever the shipping was, but it should have been insured. I mean, you made a perfect point. Okay, it's worth $100,000. All right, so I might as well just go ship 50 things through FedEx, hoping one of them gets lost, and I'll say how much it's worth.
Yeah, you know, Wally, that's a good point. You may get the shipping cost. Did they ever say they would refund the shipping cost? Because their terms and conditions might say that if you don't insure it, all they're responsible for are shipping costs. I don't know what their terms and conditions say. Let's look them up. So what address was it delivered to?
7631 Haskell, Haskell. That's in Van Nuys.
In where, Van
California.
Nuys?
Van Nuys, I think you pronounce it Nuys.
Yeah, Van Nuys. Van Nuys, California,
and,
right?
Yeah. Let me give you a zip here. 91406.
And was there any particular unit, or is that it? Mark, you looking up that address?
That's it.
Yeah, it's just a big...
who will sign for it.
It's just a big, like, I don't know. There's a big semi driving out of it. It's just a big building.
What media was this? Watercolor, oil, what was it?
It was acrylic.
Acrylic.
8 by 12
I would I mean, is this building a marijuana grow or what? I mean, why do they have guards there? They won't let people in.
That's really baffling to me.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. Why can't someone go and say, and by the way, this is what you should say, my kid's third grade acrylic project was sent here by mistake. I'd like to get it back. Because if you say, oh, a $10,000 piece of art was shipped here, you're never going to get it.
Was there like a receipt or anything explaining what it was?
There was a receipt inside,
they know how much it is, bro.
Let's put Smarty Marty on it. He can harass FedEx.
Let's do it. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. We need to look into this one because this is absolutely crazy. Jeez. Yeah, let's just put Deputy Smarty on it to plague them to death. I mean, how can this happen?
The real fix is they got to go over there and get their painting, man. FedEx ain't cutting them a check for $10K. No way.
Did anybody sign for it, or they just dropped it
No,
off?
someone signed for it.
Well, if someone signed for it, that's who they should go after.
Exactly. You're saying they can't get through the
Unjust
guard.
enrichment. I would sue them.
Qualified buyers can get
Yeah.
1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda CR-V, Ridgeline, or the all-new 2022 Civic. Contact your local Colorado Honda dealer today.
Exclude Civic Type R. See dealer for financing details.
Colorado Pain Care is a place I go for pain care, and you should too. Colorado Pain Care, Sport and Spine. They got you covered when it comes to pain. They deal with all major insurance, any kind of pain. They do immediate stuff to get you over the hump. They have physical therapy for longer term solutions. They have invasive and non-invasive procedures, including nerve blocks and spinal things, stimulators, all kinds of stuff. Call them. You will love these people. 303-GOT-PAIN.
From him, Wally, his area
I
code
always
is 954.
refer people.
I don't want you to see a 954 number come in and think it's spam, okay? All right. If you can you send that over shortly? Okay. We'll get working on your issue, okay?
The way they do business is
Then
selling all of the materials wholesale. Then they fabricate and install this for you. And that's what they charge for. They don't even charge for the tear out and haul away the old stuff. Or they don't charge you for the bathroom vanity when you have the kitchen counters done. TheArtofGranite.com. And you can get a price on the phone. 303-386-5919.
Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure
How long have you guys been in business?
6 years. Professional parts people will test
And did you come from other the industry, or did you just start right back there?
Batteries are built to handle
Well,
even the toughest
neither one of us had been in the funeral industry before.
Really?
My husband was a construction worker at the military and eventually got disabled to the point that the VA was like, you can't work construction anymore. So they sent him back to school, and we went to mortuary science school instead.
Because it was that or be an engineer.
And nobody wants to hire a 60-year-old engineer.
Where did you work in the military?
In the military?
Didn't you say the military?
Yeah, I was in the Navy Seabee.
Oh, okay. Construction. That's literally construction. That's what they do, right? And you did that for how long?
9 years. I got hurt in Desert Storm. Didn't work construction guys.
Was your plan to be in it for life and career?
Yeah, I plan to be in the Navy for life. I like this. And then construction was just an easy trade over.
At KHWindows.com. 65 years strong, still making deals. KHWindows.com. 303-421-7100.
J&H Home Solutions has what you're looking for. Some people treat investing like a game, but Marcus by Goldman Sachs approaches investing in a smart way with digitally managed portfolios that leverage Goldman Sachs.
Normally in the embalming room listening to you talk arguing with you. It's kind of awkward, you know.
What?
We're normally in the embalming room embalming during the show. That's what I had on. So they argue and, yell back. That's what I had.
How long does it take to embalm somebody?
A standard embalming where nobody's been autopsied or anything, and it goes well, about an hour and a half.
Wow.
And it is for new
But it can go up to 4 hours if there's
Don't miss
chronic heart
it.
disease or
If it's an autopsy and a repair, it can take up to 10, depending on how
Know a lot about it.
Food trucks kick back at the
Yes,
beer garden.
we had to
turn
take
that
a
down.
lot.
Everyone at the FanDuel Fan Fest is
We had to take a lot of the same classes as nurses and doctors. We have to take A&P 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because you have to know where all the vessels are and everything to raise them for embalming.
What is that fluid? What's in it?
It used to be formaldehyde, now it's formalin, which is close, but not quite as bad. It doesn't cross-links hard as it used to, and it's not quite as toxic.
Well, you can always tell the first year medical students, because when we were in medical school,
I don't think you posted to Facebook.
for a whole year,
The
it
video.
smelled like formaldehyde.
Yes.
It was just terrible. You couldn't get it out of your skin.
Well, now they try to make it smell all pretty, like cucumber melon and stuff like that, and it's like nobody wants to smell it.
But now they're doing a lot of 3D dissection rather than
Actual cadavers.
actual cadavers.
The problem with that is that everybody's slightly different. You know that. Everybody's anatomy is slightly different. Just because the vessel is supposed to be there doesn't mean it is.
Tommy, I have a good update with Deputy Dollar and the caller on 6 and 7. I don't know if you remember it. It was a refund from a title company. They overpaid something, had to refund her. So anyway, just giving you a heads up on that one.
Did you guys read that story that the guy in Georgia, I'm positive it was Georgia, and I guess he worked for his parents, and he was kind of special needs, but he was in his 50s, 60s. So his parents died, and they owned a cremation place. And so people just kept bringing him bodies, and he literally just started piling them up on the property area to the tune of, amazing amounts.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com will get you a free, complimentary, I should call it.
Because it seems like it's nothing, but it's something. It's a detailed property valuation of what your home will bring on the open market. And it's way better than even an appraisal in this market, because a lot of things are selling for over an appraisal. So what Frank does is he'll tell you what it will bring based on his 26 years of experience. It's pretty accurate, and you have no obligation to list. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. I want to talk to Dawn, and Dawn had a problem she called about a while ago. And Dawn, if you could summarize what the problem was you called about. Didn't you say you refinanced your house? And didn't you say you got a refund for overpayment of some of the fees, and the check bounced for some reason, right?
That's correct. And it was with Ascendant Title, and they apologized for the bounced check, said that they would reissue a new check with the bank fees that I incurred for the bounced check.
Why did that happen? What I don't understand is, why did their check bounce? Did they ever tell you?
Yeah, so what ended up happening was there was a merger between a couple of different companies, some kind of acquisition that took place. And so during that time, the check that the account was cut on was closed unbeknownst to the person that issued the check. So that's why the check bounced.
Okay, and we got Deputy Dollar involved. We call him Deputy Dollar. He's a retired accountant. Hey, Deputy Dollar, what did you find out?
Well, I had originally called the woman that Tracy had been working with that Don had been working with, the woman by the name of Tracy.
Yeah.
Tracy was very helpful, but I left a message for her last week, and then I got a call from Wendy, who's higher up in the organization. And it's just like Don said, there was a merger between a couple title companies. They were probably changing some checking accounts. But on Friday of last week, Ascendant Title, or whatever their new name is, issued Dawn her refund check.
Great.
And they actually sent it by Zelle, which is a money transfer system. So they sent it to her. Don had her funds on Friday night. And
good. Hey,
everything is good.
Out of curiosity, did you get that extra bounced check fee back?
I did. They included the extra $12 for the fee that I incurred. So
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Deputy Dollar. Appreciate it. Dawn, thank you for calling. We love helping people. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Hey, Chantel, what's happening?
Well, we're still waiting for updates to figure out what we're doing, but I got my car broke down in Nebraska, and now I'm having some issues with the man I have the financing through.
Okay, so what happened to begin with? Let's go right back to the beginning, because I didn't hear the story. So what happened with, did you buy a car there?
I did. So I bought a car through a man that I knew from a professional aspect. I met him in my profession, and he owned a car dealership a few years ago, and he owned a mechanical shop.
So where did you actually buy the car?
So I actually bought it it's called Auto Lab in Inglewood, but the company that he sells cars through is called Colorado Motive.
Okay, and it's used. What did you buy?
I bought a 2009 Honda Pilot.
A 2009 Honda Pilot. And what was the problem?
So I hadn't had any problems when I had initially bought it. He had did a bunch of repairs and
oh, that's nice. When did you buy that, by the way?
I bought it in January of the beginning of this year.
Okay, so you're saying in the beginning the dealer actually did some repairs for you?
He did, yes, he did, and he said he did all the 200,000 mile checks and everything.
200. Oh my goodness!
Good.
I guess the Honda Pilot had 200,000 miles.
Yes.
Woo! My goodness. Anyway, what's the problem now?
So, probably within the first month that I had bought it, I had gotten, there was a couple little lights that came on, a little sound in the belt, and so I took it back to him.
Out of curiosity, Chantel, why'd you take it back?
Because he's a master Honda mechanic, and I've had a few friends that have used him for.
Okay, so you didn't think, hey, I bought a 200,000-mile car and nothing. They basically better fix everything. I mean, you were taking it back as a paying customer.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
And what happened then?
So he told me that my starter was weak, that he, it was going to be going out, and he said, but he wouldn't recommend doing it prematurely. And he said, if it dies out, give me a call, I'll come tow you, and we'll get it fixed at that time. And I said, okay, sounds good. Went on about life.
Well, what's the problem now then? What happened?
I went out, I took my family out for our end of summer vacation to Lake Mac in Nebraska. And while we were on the beach, I didn't have any issues on the way up there. And while we were on the lake, the car, I turned it off and it just didn't start again. And so my automatic assumption was that the starter had went out. Again, I hadn't had any car issues.
Yeah. So what happened? Did you get stranded in Nebraska?
I got stranded in Nebraska with my entire family, my group of 7.
Wait, you were 7 in one car?
Yes.
All right.
And so.
So what ended up happening? Let's get to that. Did you end up? You did it? Was it fixed? What's wrong with it?
So we don't know at this point. I called Jason, which is the owner, and I said of the company, and I said, "Hey, Jason, this is what's happening. I'm stuck out in Nebraska. The car is not starting. I knew the starter was weak, and my boyfriend he works on cars as well. So I said, Mike went ahead and replaced the starter, and it's still not starting. I need to worry about getting my family home. What do you recommend that we do?" Because in the prior conversation,
why would you? I don't even understand why you would call them anyway. In other words, what is this affinity to the dealer? Your boyfriend did replace the starter, and that didn't work. What were you hoping, and I really mean this, what were you hoping the dealer would tell you that you couldn't figure out for yourself?
It was because of the prior conversation of him saying that if it goes out, he would tow me and we would get it fixed.
Oh, wait a minute. You expected him to tow you from Nebraska and get it fixed.
I expected him to give me an option of like his tow company that he uses or some type of just guidance in what he would like,
Okay.
what he thinks would be the best idea in the situation.
I get it. Because you had a relationship with him as far as the car. Hold on.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown at 2, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by your local Ford store.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic.
We got a Scout with 500,000 miles.
500,000 miles?
Well, keep it up and keep it going.
And original train? Are you kidding me? Did you have it from new?
No.
Those are sought after.
$600.
$600 you bought it for.
And now you have, what, like 10,000 in it?
Something like that.
What year is it?
73 Scout, 76 Terra, and a 70 Travel. The Scout has the most miles of it.
You keep those old cars running.
Well, we bought one, it was easier just to buy another one than to keep looking for parts. But then the second one kept running. So we bought a third one for parts, and it's still running, so none of them got parted out.
And built for America. Now, get additional bonus cash on top of current offers when you build and order your Ford at your local Ford store.
There is an unfortunate reality when it comes to roofing. There are a lot of fly-by-nights and just basically thieves and liars in that business. That's why it's really important you pick the right roofer for repairs, insurance, whatever it is, even if it's an insurance repair, because if you give your insurance money away, your insurance company doesn't pay you again. Excel Roofing, that's the roofer I recommend for you, where you won't be hurt. They don't take a cent until you're content, not one dime. They don't ask you to sign over an insurance check, and they give you complete and full estimates of exactly what you need. Unlike other roofers who say, don't worry about it, I'll do whatever the insurance company wants. Don't ever go with a roofer like that. You want someone who's proud of what they do and will give you a full and complete estimate. Excel Roofing, as in excellent, E-X-C-E-L, excelroofing.com. I've used them on several of my roofs, and you can trust them. 303-761-6400. Well, if you are doing a real estate transaction and you just wing it, and you know what I mean, you sign papers. Have you ever read every paper at the closing? Of course you haven't. How do you know what is going on there? You could have a title problem. You could have a border dispute. You could have an easement problem. You could have so many different problems. Or they might come back after you already bought the property. What if you're buying a house along with someone and you didn't get a partnership agreement? Here's what you need. You need an attorney to look things over. It's only a few $100 compared to the many hundreds of thousands on the line. O'Brien Legal Services. Those are our real estate experts. OLSlaw.com, 720-370-7388. So you've bought all these older cars to serve as partrepreneurs and they kept running.
Yes.
So now you have 3 running old cars.
Yes.
Why do you think they keep running with all the high mileage you have?
I know, they seem just invincible. They always start.
Well, you lucked out. I mean, people don't normally.
They probably really take care of them too.
Yeah, but but still, what they inherited though, just luckily, wasn't terrible.
Yeah. You ever had it before? Took good care of it.
That's true. Yeah. Did you know who had it before? Did you go to a dealer?
No, we had $600 and.
How long ago was $600?
98.
What? You bought the car in 98?
Yes.
See, what you did, oh my God. What you've done is beat the system, basically. Not many people can do that.
No, you're so lucky.
Talk about Blue Sky CBD. It has really been working for my age.
So gas is so expensive now. 9 miles a gallon. You're daily driving.
What kind of car is it?
Scout.
The International.
Oh,
What do they get?
Well, the International Scout is bulletproof. Of
Yeah.
course it is. I had one of those. You can't kill them.
No, and that's the 3 Internationals are old, and we love them all.
You know, Jeep made a little straight 6-cylinder that you can't kill either, man.
We have a
You see how-
98 Jeep Grand
The
Cherokee
Willys.
with 2
The Willys. Are you talking about the Willys Jeep?
No, it doesn't. Usually they were the Cherokee Sports, like made around 99, 2000. But they got a straight inline 6, just one boom.
Or the slant sticks, you can't kill them. Right?
They get like, they only
We
get
have
like
that one too.
13 miles to the
We have
gallon.
a 98 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the i6 in it, with 260,000 miles. Still running. We
Yeah,
drive it every
it's
day.
horrible gas mileage, though, isn't it, for so little
It's like
horsepower?
15 miles to gallon. It's not great, but
You have the Scout, Jeep, and what else?
the Traverse.
That Scout gets the same thing my diesel pusher gets, miles per gallon. Tell me that's not the craziest
What's the
thing in the world.
Traverse?
Chevy.
You see the Traverse, they're new. What the hell you have going?
It's what we carry. Just put the cloud in it, deliver people's houses. So.
To move people around.
Oh, it's your hearse, basically.
Instead of a minivan, because you can't take a coach to someone's house anymore. In the middle of the night, it doesn't look right. So
Oh,
people
good
use
point.
minivans, but we use a Traverse because it looks nicer.
You can't even tell what's in it, right?
No.
I didn't think about that. You really don't see a hearse anymore, do you? I can't even think of seeing one.
I think you do, don't you?
You do for services, but even
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Well, I see them every day.
But even then, a lot of people don't opt for them because they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, if you don't opt for it, what do you get?
Minivan
Oh.
or a Traverse, something like that. Something that you could put a gasket in. A
Put it on a
Denali,
flatbed.
something like that. Yeah, flatbed.
Look at the
Just
mountains,
ratchet
they
them up.
Strap it down.
So you just pick up trucks with campers on the back.
Mountains.
Yeah, a lot. That's what a corner uses, so you pass up on the mountains.
Your
Trying to
helicopter.
jump in a truck, you know.
There you go. Put it in
That would be a funeral in style.
on the skid.
Right on the skid, yeah.
They have skid beds for emergencies, but man, I wouldn't want to be on it.
Did you? I got to ask you this. Did you guys watch the what was the series?
6 Feet Under?
6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
I never liked it.
I loved it. He hated it.
There's nothing to.
Just the whole premise was good.
Crap, Mike. Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay. Chantel, we do want to help you. We're not sure what we can do. Again, she had a relationship, I guess, a business relationship with these people. That's why she kept calling them. Certainly, with 200,000 miles on it, you weren't making any unreasonable demands. So what's happening? What else happened? What did it end up being? Did they help you get out of Nebraska? Is it okay? Is it at a shop in Nebraska? Well, it came from 200,000 miles. Probably, yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Well, hold on. Chantel, I am so puzzled. You're not married to this guy, right? Okay. Why does he have something to say about your vehicle? There is something missing from the story, why you keep calling him for advice and why he's telling you what to do. What are we missing? Well, Chantel, he can't tell you what to do with that vehicle unless, hold on, are you financing the vehicle? Hold on, are you financing it through AutoLab? And who? Well, that's why he can tell you. See, that's a big part of the story, Chantel, because he has a security interest in that vehicle. In fact, you're co-owners. When you have a loan on a car, the lender has everything to say about it. You don't own that car unless you pay it off. Okay, now I understand. Now I understand. So he said you're not going to total it, and here's why he's saying that. Because he doesn't want you to total it, and now you have nothing to pay on, and you're going to stop paying on it, right? Wait, oh, hold on. Insurance doesn't cover a mechanical breakdown if they total it.
Learn that after.
But Chantel, okay, the team part, you got a little wrong on the team part. And by the way, I'm not giving you bad news because I don't want to help you. I'm trying to open your eyes here a little. They owe you nothing. In the pure sense, they owe you nothing. Okay, and so they don't have to come up with a solution, but they should, or they're not going to get paid. It's pretty evident you're not going to pay on a car that's not running. So, I mean, what did you guys come up with? Anything? And are they getting the car back for you? No, you sound responsible. You sound responsible. Unfortunately, you bought you shouldn't have bought something with such high mileage without at least having it completely checked out by an independent party. So you have a knocking in the engine. Most likely, if they have to crack into that, it truly isn't worth doing. I mean, that's an old vehicle. So where is it right now? When is it going to be back in Colorado?
Up in Nebraska, and then it should be back on Friday is when we're trying to get it back. I think my whole curiosity to all of this is looking into my, going through my contract and talking to my insurance agents and stuff. Is on my contract for a leasing car, my insurance is listed as he just required comprehensive collision. And so my curiosity is I've never seen the title. At this point, our working relationship is pretty much non-existent.
Well, Chantel, what working relationship? I don't have a working relationship when I finance a car. I don't know anyone who does. You finance a car and... Go ahead.
But he's also my mechanic.
Okay. All right.
That working relationship.
What do you... I guess I should just ask you this. I just ask this. What do you think they should do for you? What do you think they owe you?
Absolutely nothing. All that he owes me is to, give me an honest answer on how much it's going to cost me to repair the car.
But I wouldn't go to this guy. I wouldn't go to him. I mean...
I think that was the part that I was curious. I definitely want different opinions on,
I wouldn't go to this guy. But I want to know something about insurance. You mentioned something about leasing a car. Are you leasing that car?
No, sorry. No, not leasing.
Okay.
Just,
and you mentioned something about insurance. What does that have to do with this?
Because I'm curious if it's a salvage title by his response on how he responded to totaling it out. And
wait a minute. You mean if you were sold unknowingly a salvage vehicle to begin with?
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to see if you could help with.
Did you run the VIN number that's curious. Do you think he sold you a salvage vehicle?
I mean, I don't understand why it's not outlined in my contract that I carry full coverage insurance. Comprehensive is not full coverage. So, I mean, why would you not document in
Chantel,
there?
You're wondering why the finance company did not require full coverage.
Because, I mean, they do require, but it's not documented it's worded differently in my contract with him.
Okay, so you're thinking because they are not requiring full coverage, it must be a salvage vehicle.
And no, not only that, just because of the response that,
Okay.
to the totaling of the car.
Run a Carfax on it. It's very simple to see
That's
if it's
what I
been
was curious
salvaged.
Deputy Doc, you want to call over to this
Well,
dealer?
a quick question. How much did you pay and how much do you owe?
What does that matter?
I'm just,
What does it matter?
curious.
Okay.
I
you
am
think
too.
it's
What
gonna-
is it?
You think it's going to change this deal at all? You think anything's going to change? How much did you pay for the car?
So I financed for just over $10,000, and I've paid about almost close to $6,000 so far.
You have been so ripped off. You paid 3 times.
learning that.
You paid 3 or 4 times what that car is worth.
I definitely am learning that the hard way.
Oh
for
my
sure.
God. Well, Chantel, I don't know. Oh my
Is Carfax the one that you would recommend? Is that the,
yeah, if you find out it's salvage and he didn't tell you, at least we can do something about it. Yeah, that would be good.
True.
That would be good.
He has to disclose that.
Yeah, if he did not.
And it's not. I did go through and I found the form where he would have had to disclose any issues with the vehicle.
Hold on, you're
salvage
assuming
title.
you are assuming it is salvage. That's going to be the only hope, is if you can find out it's salvage. This guy entirely ripped you off. Hold on.
Tell your smart device to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio. Then you can hear Ross Kaminsky in the morning, Dan Kaplis in the afternoon.
Getting 630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
Denver's talk station. Available on over 2,000 devices. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Westera Credit Union.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, if you're on I-70, right now we are looking at some slow traffic eastbound from I-25 out through to Colorado Boulevard. The rest of I-70 in pretty
The
good
guy
shape.
already ripped her off, and he owns the finance company. We ought to call him and say, look, you charge 3 times what this car is worth.
Well, let's find out. Let us know if there's a salvage title, and we'll go to work on it. If there is a salvage title.
Guys in your family in Kansas, can you
Let's
just bring
talk
them?
about Genesis. Genesis Total Exteriors is a great home improvement company for inside and outside the house for all home improvements. But they also now have a solar division, GenesisSolarCo.com. And here's what Genesis does. First of all, you own it when you buy it. You get all the tax credits, and there's no complications when you sell your house. They do a 25-year warranty on all of the components, plus they guarantee your return, like how much you will save for 25 years. They guarantee that. If not, they write you a check yearly. The other thing is you get a 20-minute site evaluation free to see if it will work on your lot. It's 20 minutes, it's free, it's off premises. 303-474-4317.
So do you have to do anything there?
You have to have a permit.
A permit, okay.
What about if you just put it on top of the station wagon, like in, what was that Chevy Chase movie?
Oh, yeah.
They just put
Where his
the-
aunt dies.
And they just put it on top of the station wagon?
The Native Americans will. They just come up with a pickup truck, put them in the back, drive them to Nebraska.
Wow.
Who does?
Native Americans.
Off the reservation.
They have a reservation.
There's no paperwork for that.
Wyoming has nothing. Anybody can go back and forth from Wyoming to Colorado without paperwork.
Oh, in Wyoming, no kidding.
But other states.
What's the most stringent state, if there is such a thing?
California, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, you got to pay taxes.
California has regulations, they have regulations and taxes on everything.
So from Nevada, this drives me crazy. Nevada into California, they stop you at this huge port to check for fruit flies. And it drives me insane because I look at the guy and said, well, can't they just fly over my car there? How are you checking for fruit flies?
And what do they check? To see if you have fresh produce?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
they want to know if you're bringing produce that's
And if
infected.
you do, then what?
They confiscate it, just like at the airport.
It's so stupid,
You know,
man. You got to like come to this complete stop like you're at a border so they can check for fruit flies. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Do you know that the Border Patrol can stop you anywhere within 100 miles of the border?
I don't know that. And what is the reason?
Well, if they want to do a check on you to make sure you're a citizen, they can stop you anywhere within 100 miles of the border.
I don't know why that matters. They don't care.
Because there are people in Texas who drive from one city to another that never go near the border and are getting stopped to prove that they're citizens.
Yeah, that guy in Georgia, that thing was crazy. Did you guys hear that story years ago?
Sorry.
So my wife's mom lived in that area, and that was kind of how we heard about it. And next thing you knew, it was major news all over the country.
You can get away with a lot of stuff if you're not really honest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
How'd you guys get in the biz? I'm curious.
So VA sent me back to school. I wanted to be a civil engineer, but it was going to take too long, so the second choice was funeral director. So
that's wild.
I paid for it, and I did it, and here I am.
Yeah.
But he was in the Navy doing construction.
Yeah, yeah. Did you get a GI Bill, or you said the VA sent?
It was vocational
Vocational,
rehabilitation.
yeah, I got hurt while I was in the service.
Oh, I got you. Cool. So they pay for it.
Yeah. And I did a bunch of disaster recovery while I was in the service. I was after a Bay Bridge collapse.
Wow.
A couple plane crashes. So.
What was that bridge you did the story at, Tom, that collapsed?
Sunshine Skyway, but that was many years ago.
Man, this thing, it broke and people were literally, you couldn't see that the bridge was gone. They were driving right off of it.
It was foggy, that's why. Plus it went up like that.
Can you imagine being in the car, next thing you know, you're airborne like that on the bridge? It'd be your last few minutes would be terrifying.
One guy did that. His truck hit the bow of the ship that broke the bridge, and he was thrown out of the vehicle.
He lived?
Yeah, onto the thing.
Holy crap.
And he lived. And we interviewed another guy saw